If you love the handmade look of sewing elements on your card, but don't necessarily want to do a ton of stitching, this video is for you. Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Keppel. In today's video, I am sharing the latest Spellbinders kit clubs, including the card kit of the month, the die of the month, and the glimmer kit of the month. This month's card kit is called So Happy, and it features the cutest embroidery hoops, sewing elements, yarn, and more in the embellishments. So let's jump right in and unbox this card kit. So this month's card kit comes with, of course, a list of supplies and an instruction to create the cutest little embroidery hoop. That's with the dies that are available in this month's kit. There are 10 cards, A2 size cards, and envelopes that fit as well. These are the chipboard embroidery hoops. You can see that the little metal at the top is a gold foil element, and there's lots of cute patterns and a couple of different sizes of these hoops. So the smaller ones you could use multiple on one card. The larger ones fit an A2 card perfectly. There are foam dots and a tape roll, and of course the die cuts. I love the die cuts in Spellbinders card kits because you get 2 of each design, but you get about, I don't know, a gazillion designs. They're so cute, and they come with gold foiling elements and just really pretty colors. There's floral elements, there's also stitching elements, there's yarn elements, just so much fun. These are the chipboard stickers. You get 2 sheets of that. I love those cute little buttons, and then the sentiment that says cute as a button. And of course, the rainbow stitched is just adorable as well. There is a 6x6 pattern paper pad. These are single-sided sheets, but you get a couple of each design, and the designs are so much fun. There's some really versatile sheets as well as some stitched themed or sewing themed sheets. So there's lots in here, and again, there's really beautiful colors. This month there are stickers, 3 sheets of stickers. There are some sentiments, there are some images, and there's just a ton of options on these. These make it really easy to create quick and pretty cards, so definitely reach for those stickers if you're trying to put together a card quickly. There's also a stamp set. Again, some really beautiful sentiments, lots of options there as well. And underneath all those die cuts, you can see you get several sheets of really pretty colorful cardstock and a mirror silver cardstock as well. Now, I'm going to use the kit to make a few quick and easy cards. I always like to start with the dies from the card kit so that you can see the dies that come in the kit and see how easy they are to use and put together. This month is a very simple situation here where you can use 2 of the circles together to create the embroidery hoop, and then use the larger circle to create what you're embroidering on, and then you can cut out several different flowers, leaves, and the embroidery hoop clasp at the top, as well as a sewing needle. So I am just going to put 2 pieces of pattern paper together to create my background, and then I'm just going to use a little tape runner on this embroidery hoop that I created and adhere it down to the large circle, which is the canvas that we will be pretending to stitch on here, and we'll just be creating a little scene with those flowers and leaves. So really simple to create that hoop. I am going to use some liquid glue to glue all these flowers together. They have flower centers, they have little leaves, little vines, and you can create any kind of combination of these that you want in any colors that you want. This is just a really quick and easy project, but these dies are super cute, and I especially love the little clasp for the embroidery hoop. It makes it look so realistic. So once you have your canvas all set up with an arrangement of flowers, then it's time to figure out how to adhere the embroidery hoop to the clasp. So there's this little U shape, and you adhere that down to the screw. This is the screw that you would tighten the hoop with. And once you have those 2 things adhered down, you can place the hoop on the bottom of that U shape. The dies also cut out a sewing needle and a piece of thread. It is so cute. That can be any color that you want, obviously. I used a sticker sticker for the sentiment, and then I'm going to adhere down the clasp and the screw. And then I will just use a little bit of liquid adhesive so I can slide it around and get it exactly into place right on that little clasp there. So I'm going to do the same for the needle and the thread. I find with these types of dies where you need to place them exactly where you want them, a liquid glue that gives you a little dry time is great to have, and the Ultra Bond is that. For this next card, we're going to create sort of a similar look, but a lot faster and easier. So I'm just going to take one of the chipboards. They are self-adhesive. I put it down on a piece of white cardstock that came in the kit, and then I'm just going to trim around the outside. So that creates our embroidery hoop with the screw and the clasp at the top and the fabric that we're stitching on. And then I'm going to place a chipboard sticker in that embroidery hoop, and it's the rainbow with the stitching look to it. So that's what's stitched inside the embroidery hoop. I'm going to take a sticker for the sentiment. I decided I wanted to pop it up, so I just laid it down on a piece of the scrap white cardstock that I had already cut some things out of so that I could pop it up if I wanted to. I'm going to mat this piece of pattern paper on some of that really dark blue cardstock, and then I'm going to use some of those little foam rounds to pop up the embroidery hoop on top. So now we have that sentiment. I adhered the sticker down to some white cardstock, and I'm just going to use 3 of those little foam squares to pop that up on top of the hoop. Really, really quick and easy, no die cutting necessary, and such a cute little card. Okay, for the next card, I am going to do something similar, but this time I'm going to back my embroidery hoop in the chipboard with some pattern paper, and that looks really cute too. Especially this pattern paper looks like it has little white stitching on it, so everything really goes along so well with this theme. One of the stickers say "Let's celebrate," so I put that inside the embroidery hoop, and then I'm going to mat some cardstock, some pattern paper onto some cardstock and pop up the embroidery hoop. I am going to use some foam tape because I want this whole hoop popped up, but then I'll use the little foam squares to pop up some flowers around the outside edge of that embroidery hoop just for a fun look there. So all those little flowers are die cuts from that die cut pack. So you can see stickers, pattern paper, die cuts, everything. I wanted to show you the stamp set as well to let you know how beautifully these stamps actually do stamp. So it's got a needle and then the sentiment that says "So happy it's your birthday." I stamped those in black ink on white cardstock, and now I'm layering an embroidery hoop over a sticker. So then I can just mat this on some of the gray cardstock that came in the kit. This is a real clean and simple card, but I thought I would add a few of those little buttons. They're so cute. Those little heart buttons are just adorable, great little accents for any card. Now let's take a look at this month's die of the month and use it to make a card. For this month's die of the month, you can actually do some real stitching on these. These are leaves that you can stitch the veins on, and then there are shadows for the outside of those leaves. So these are very simple to stitch and they come together really quickly. I like to go up the center here. That's kind of that center vein of the leaf. So I'm just going to do your basic back stitch, and I'm going to use coordinating colors of thread with coordinating colors of cardstock. I did not have a dark blue thread, so I decided to go with like a dark gray. I thought that would look cool, but I do have a gray on gray for the two of the leaves and a lavender on lavender and then a pink on pink for the other ones. Now you do the sides. So you come in from above and go down towards the middle. And again, just a simple back stitch. And those are going to create those veins going out from the center towards the outside and upper edges of the leaves. So again, these are super, super easy stitches to get done. You can see that the die cuts are large enough to stitch on, small enough to get done really quickly, which is right my style. So then I'm just going to knot off on the back there and cut those tails real nice and short so that I can, once I have them all done, I can layer them over the shadow die cuts if I want to. You can just leave them just like this. They look super, super cute, all those different leaves. I decided to cut out all the shadow layers out of the silver mirror cardstock, and then I'm going to use some liquid glue behind the stitching to lay it on top. Now, I used a lot of liquid glue there. I probably should have definitely used like half the amount. So it took some time to dry. That's okay. I just was being impatient. So I put that block on there to really try and get them to stay in place and stay stuck down. You can see on that leaf right there, it's missing one little leaf. That's when I was stitching it. I accidentally just ripped it right off, but that's okay because I'm going to make kind of a wreath out of these leaves. So I'm going to cover up that spot with another leaf. And I am popping all of these up just to give them some dimension off of the back. And I love that kind of lavender pattern paper on that dark blue cardstock. Anything light with a dark blue like that, I think is such a fun look. Like the pink looks really great, but this lavender looks great too. And you all know I'm not like a huge purple person, but I think that color combination is really fun. Once you do that, you can use the sentiment dies. They say hello fall, and there are shadows for that as well. So I cut the sentiments out of the dark blue cardstock and the shadows out of that same silver, and I'm popping this up a little bit more, another layer of foam tape added to it just so that they stand out a little bit from those busy leaves in the background there. But this is just a fun fall card with different colors than I would normally anticipate for fall. I'm just going to trim off that little stem there that was hanging off the edge of the side there. But other than that, it's really easy to pull this together with some actual stitching. Next up, let's take a look at the Glimmer Kit of the month and use that to make a card. Speaking of wreaths, the Glimmer Kit of the month includes these glimmer foil plates, this one in particular, which creates kind of a wreath just like we were creating before, only this one is around a diamond shape. So I decided to use 2 of those. You also get the dies to cut these out. So I just cut 2 of them out on a piece of gray cardstock. You also get a small glimmer flower and a small glimmer leaf. So I am just going to use a couple of small pieces of foil to cover that and a couple of different colors of cardstock from the kit to create the flowers and leaves in 2 different colors. And I'm going to glimmer a couple of those and then cut them out so that I have a few to play with. Okay, to create this, you're going to cut out one side and then cut out the other. And when you cut them both out of one piece of cardstock, you can cut out the diamond in the center. So that's what I did here so that I could foil the sentiment from the kit right on a diamond, and then I'll be able to pop this up in the center of the wreath. So just a couple of pieces to put together, but all my foiling came out really nicely, so I was definitely happy. Okay, so now I cut out the other end of the wreath, and now I'm cutting out all of these little leaves. There are a couple of other little dies in there for the flower centers and the little stems. So you can cut those out and you don't need to foil those at all. I have a piece of pattern paper that I'm going to mat on top of some cardstock, and then I'm going to use some foam tape to pop up the diamond wreath. So I'm just going to put one piece on there, and then I'm going to put some foam squares on the other, and I'm going to be careful not to put foam on the edges of both of these because I think they need to overlap. And then once you put the diamond together, yes, they do overlap. So you don't want foam on the places that are overlapping. Otherwise, you'll have them popped up too high over the other one. Okay, and now for the diamond, going to go right in the center. I did double pop that up so that it would stand out a little bit more. And now I just get to decorate with those cute little flowers and stems and leaves. So some of those I did pop up as well on small pieces of foam, and then others of those I tucked behind the diamond. That's why I like it double popped up, so you can do that and use some liquid glue to adhere those. But this is just a really pretty kit, and I love that sentiment. I'm thankful for all you do, and the glimmer leaves for fall. It's just a really, really pretty kit. So if you're looking to increase your glimmer foil plate stash, this kit is a great way to do it. I also love that they give you dies as well as the glimmer foil plates, so that gives you the ability to cut those things out so you don't have to glimmer in the center of the card panel every single time. And you can add dimension as well. So you can cut them out and then add foam behind them and pop them up. It just adds a lot of interest to your card. If you already have some of the Spellbinders Kit Clubs coming your way, I'd love to hear which ones you subscribe to. Let me know in the comments below. If you're interested in checking anything out that I used today, all my supplies are listed below the video. As always, I want to thank you so much for spending time with me today. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again soon. Hey everyone. Love card B. No. Let's take a month. Down underneath you. That's better.